All right, listen up, fam. This high school is basically a training camp for future criminals. We're talking sleeping in class, brawling the hallways, even the teachers are too scared to step in. Isn't this place a total nightmare for studying? But get a load of our boy. He looks like a total nerd with those glasses, but he's actually a top-tier fighter who settles arguments with his fists. And his ultimate goal for being here? To get into college. Meanwhile, our boy is trying to get in touch with his old tutor, Ms. Lee. He dials her up, full of hope, only to get hit with the dreaded, "The number you have dialed is not in service." Ouch. Talk about a total buzzkill. But hold up, things are about to get weird. The exact same number starts calling him back. Look at him, sweating bullets. He does not know what to expect. On the other end of the line, this girl is completely thrown off by this absolutely ridiculous ringtone. What is even happening right now? Cut to another guy. His call doesn't go through either, and he's not happy about it. He's so frustrated he just drops his phone. But look at that glare. That's not the face of defeat. That's the look of someone who's about to take matters into his own hands. Meanwhile, over at the hospital, this absolute unit of a dude is on a mission. The caption says he's someone's self-proclaimed best friend, which is hilarious. He's storming through the halls like a madman. Who is he after? And there's his target, Park Gunyeb, all wrapped up like a mummy. Dude looks like he just survived an explosion, but is already getting dressed to leave. His friend is freaking out, and apparently, our injured boy just quit his gig working for some shady Mr. G.I. The plot thickens. His buddy lays it on him thick. "I'm always on your side, but I don't always like what you do." Oof, that's real talk right there. You can see the weight of that on Park's face. He's clearly got a plan, but his friend is not on board. Park is dead set on his path, claiming the outcome will be the same. But little does he know, Mr. G.I.'s crew is already hunting for him. And look at their boss. This bald dude is absolutely fuming. Park is in some deep trouble. And speak of the devil. The suits corner the bald guy, Hee Hyun. Before he can even process what's happening, BAM, he's getting choked out. This is a straight-up power play. The hierarchy is crystal clear. The disrespect is real. Glasses guy is just tearing into him, calling him a pig. And then the bombshell drops. Mr. G.I. was planning to steal a life insurance payout. These guys are the lowest of the low, absolutely no conscience. So that's what this is about. Park figured out their scummy plan and, like a total badass, managed to pass the evidence phone to Hee Hyun right before he got knocked out. And while all this gang drama is going down, look at our boy Gammon, just chilling, scrolling on his phone, completely oblivious. The contrast is perfect, and the blackmail worked. Hee Hyun played his cards right and secured himself a top spot. It was all a test, and he passed with flying colors. As a result, the old leadership is out, and a new boss takes over, while Park, our blonde hero, walks off into the sunset. A new chapter begins. But wait, there's a problem. Back at the hospital, the doctors are finally looking for Park, only to find out he's already gone. Discharged himself this morning. This guy moves fast and plays by his own rules. Elsewhere, we meet this new pair, and the girl is going off on the guy. She can't believe he's actually grateful to a loan shark for saving him. Thanking a loan shark for saving your life? Her logic is sound, and her anger is 100% real. And she's right to be worried. The loan sharks have no intention of letting him go. Our guy is completely hopeless. His sister tries to hype him up, saying they can fight this in court, but he knows the truth. How can they even afford a lawyer? The reality of their situation is crushing. But just as they're at their lowest, a mysterious man in a suit appears out of nowhere. He introduces himself as Junbin Lee. Is he a friend or a foe? The timing is way too perfect. "I will help you," he says, offering to take their case pro bono because he's already been paid. And get this, he drops the ultimate flex. "I have never lost a case." Okay, this guy is a walking cheat code. The girl is totally baffled. She just got the money today. So how could someone have paid him? She has absolutely no idea who their mysterious benefactor is. The mystery continues. Meanwhile, our boy Gammon is getting impatient. Where the hell is his car? At the same time, our blonde friend Park is on the phone, relaying a message from a Mr. Jang. So is him. He's the one who hired the lawyer. What a guy. Gammon's leaving a little friendly reminder for someone to apologize. He's such a tsundere. Looks like he completely misjudged that Sunmin Jang guy. And his friend is absolutely losing his mind over it. The drama is real. And just when you think things can't get crazier, clang, our boy Park gets hit with a frying pan right to the head. The attacker is screaming at him for finding them. Looks like Park's past is catching up to him hard. We get a glimpse into Gammon's dark side. He's not just some nerd who can fight. He's got a cold streak. And his motto, refusing to fight back is a sin. This explains so much about why he is the way he is. In this school, it's fight or be forgotten. Park sees a father and son getting harassed, but he just stands there. He tells himself he's not a hero, that nothing he does will change the systemic problem. So he just walks away. The helplessness is palpable. It's a heavy, realistic moment. Back with the family, they're having a quiet meal on the rooftop. Even with the lawyer's help, the dad knows he's still in a deep hole. I won't have my head above water for a very long time. The weight of debt is a heavy burden. But his daughter isn't giving up. She suddenly declares, "Send me to cram school." She's seen the struggle, and now she's determined to make a better future for them both. I gotta make something of myself too, you know? You go, girl. And she drops this little tidbit. After all, I'm the daughter of a Hankook University alum. It's not just about her anymore. It's about living up to a legacy. The fire in her eyes is back. So, she's on the rooftop with our boy Gammon, lost in thought. She decides she needs to go see him. And look at Gammon. He immediately thinks she's talking about him and starts blushing. Oh, the classic misunderstanding. Our boy is down bad. Later that night, some drunk dude is stumbling home. Little does he know, he's being watched. Someone's hiding in the bushes, and from the look on his face, this isn't just a friendly check-in. Something's about to go down. Turns out our stalker has a friend, and they're both peeking from the bushes. He tries to play it cool, saying he's just a little concerned. Concerned about what, my guy? Spying on that couple in the distance? The fangirling is real. Back to our main couple, Gammon's confused, but Han-kyung is giving him that look. You know the one. Meanwhile, our voyeurs are having a rough time. One of them is literally having a meltdown. This scene is just too interesting for him to handle. Okay, the scene switches, and this blue jacket guy is literally kidnapping the other dude to go drinking with him. What a wild wingman. But let's get back to the main event. The girl finally works up the courage and says, "What I wanted to say was, thank you." Our boy tries to brush it off, but she's not having it. She's like, "You didn't have to come all this way just to say that." Then she drops the hint. Guys don't really invest their time in a girl unless they like her. Oh yeah, she's putting the moves on him. And what does our boy do? He plays dumb. Are you kidding me? She's practically confessing, and he's pretending he can't hear her. Look at her. She's about to explode. God damn it, she screams. Dude, you are fumbling the bag so hard right now. Just as things are about to get super awkward, reinforcements arrive. It's Gammon's study group friends, here to break the tension. Look at them. They totally know they just walked into something. The timing is impeccable. With his friends around, Gammon gets all shy. His brain just short circuits, filled with images of Han-kyung smiling. He can barely get a sentence out, and his friend over there is just cringing, calling him an idiot. The crush is so obvious it hurts. The friends totally get it. They know they interrupted a moment. One of the girls even feels bad about it. But the other one? She's loving it. Look at him sulk, cause he missed the chance to tell me his feelings. They are absolutely ruthless. But the mood shifts quickly when they start talking business. Turns out the girl got a call from the missing Ms. Lee. But as soon as she picked up, the line went dead. Suddenly, everyone gets serious. This is big. Why is a hang-up call such a big deal? Because Ms. Lee suddenly disappeared. Boom! There it is. The plot takes a sharp turn into mystery territory, and everyone is shook. Their first thought is to ask Gunyeb Park, who is in the hospital. But surprise, surprise, he's also vanished without a trace. The plot thickens. Everyone seems to know his name, but who is this guy really? Interestingly, one of the girls speaks up for him, saying she doesn't think he's a bad person. And just then, we cut to the man himself, Gunyeb Park. He muses, "The Gunyeb Park I know is someone who sometimes helps a person." Is he talking about himself in the third person? This dude is an enigma. Gammon starts grilling the guy who got the call. "Did you hear anything? Any background noise?" At first, he says no, but then it hits him. Wait, I did hear some strange noises. And there we have it, our first real clue. To describe the sound, this dude literally starts making the noise himself. Ding, ding, cling, ding, cling. The performance is something else. One of the girls asks if Manita is from an ad, but as soon as the other girl hears that name, her face drops. She knows what it is. Turns out, there's only one place you hear the name Manita, Chuma High School. Because Manita only exists at Chuma High. The mystery is starting to unravel, and all roads lead to this one school. So what the heck is Manita? It's the name of a gambling machine. And apparently, the name is a bit of a pun in Korean, sounding like come pick up your money. But where this guy is from, it means something else entirely. To plunder. That's the real meaning. And the one explaining this is none other than the number one of Chuma High, Min Seong Pyeon. This guy looks like bad news. This school is definitely not your average high school. A gambling machine? At a school? Our boy Gammon is in disbelief. But this means one thing. Ms. Lee's phone has to be in Incheon. The pieces are finally coming together, and the scope of this is way bigger than they thought. Gammon's skeptical. It seems way too convenient to assume someone just stole Ms. Lee's phone and took it there. But before he can think it through, a familiar face appears. The gray-haired guy spots him and freaks out. That son of a bitch shouldn't be out here. If anyone finds out who you are, you're screwed, the gray-haired guy warns him. But the blue-haired dude just smirks, like he's holding all the cards. The tension between these two is so thick you could cut it with a knife. So the truth comes out. The gray-haired guy stole Mr. G.I.'s phone and forced his way into the executive office. And now, the blue-haired guy is here to collect. You owe me a lot. You know that, right? He's got him right where he wants him. The gray-haired guy is telling himself to stay calm, to be patient. But it's too late. With a smug smile, the blue-haired kid grabs his wrist and with a simple turn, completely neutralizes him. That was a masterclass in control. An absolute power move. The blue-haired guy is basically telling him, I own you now. Play nice, and I'll keep your little secret. He's a master manipulator. Back with Gammon's crew, they're discussing Chungma High, and the girl volunteers to look into it herself. And how will she investigate? By transferring there, of course. Look at that confidence, that determination in her eyes. This girl is going undercover, and she looks ready to take on the world. What a queen. We find out the girl has a nickname at Chungma, a staff at the Chungma stable. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. When someone calls her out on it, she snaps, telling him not to say that name in public. She's clearly got a history there she'd rather forget. But her motives aren't purely professional. She's hoping all this drama will finally push Gammon to confess his feelings for her. Look at that blush, that hopeful expression. She's mixing business with pleasure, and I am here for it. And so, we arrive at our new setting, Chungma High School. On the surface, it's a perfectly normal, modern school. The teachers are friendly, classes are orderly. Everything seems completely fine. But as the narrator tells us, that's just during the day. After class, this place becomes something special. Our girl arrives, her new classmates are super welcoming, but she can sense something is off. Her glance says it all. An unwelcome guest has just arrived. She makes an excuse to get away from her new friends. She's learned that there's an abandoned room in the basement, remodeled by a sophomore named Minseong Payon. It seems she's found her first target. A boy leads her to the secret room, and on the way, they chat about this Minseong character. Turns out, even though he barely shows up to school, he never misses his daily visit to that specific 10% of the campus. This guy is getting more mysterious by the second. He opens the door, and she is absolutely stunned. The place is filled with cigarette smoke, blinking lights, and students gambling on slot machines. Shouts of Manita fill the air. This isn't a high school basement. It's an underground casino. The vibe in here is intense. Everyone's a little too worked up, losing their minds over these machines. The guy who brought her here is trying to get her to play, but she's got other plans. She plays it cool, pretending to be nervous while secretly texting Gammon. Her theory? No one comes here just once. The guy with Ms. Lee's phone is bound to show up again. Meanwhile, Gammon is on standby, waiting for her update. He knows he can't just barge in. Back with the study group, they're all worried about Ms. Lee. As long as there's a chance she's alive, there's a chance they can all study together again. You can see how much this means to them. This group is their lifeline. But as the teacher starts roll call, Gammon's mind wanders. He can't stop thinking about Gunyeb and what happened that night. The memory of the white-haired guy's words echoes in his head. None of it makes sense. Before he can even process his thoughts, the class bully starts acting up. And Gammon's response is priceless. He literally starts chanting la 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 la. I can't hear you, while simultaneously decking the guy. It's hilarious and badass all at once. Ever since the old number one, Hanwol, left, Yusung High has gone to crap. Bullying is rampant, and the new student council president only punishes the most obvious offenders. The place is a total mess. And our boy Gammon, he's definitely not the type to maintain discipline. Someone steps to him, and he just grabs them by the collar like, what now? And then boom, he sent the guy flying. He doesn't play games. But even Gammon can't fight everyone at once. These scumbags are ganging up on his friend, mocking him for thinking he's hot stuff just because he hangs around Gammon. This is Yusung High for you. A place where even trying to better yourself makes you a target. And to make matters worse, the turf wars between schools are heating up. The leader of the Northern Alliance, Hyukchang High's number one, has made it clear he's not giving up his territory to Yusung. A massive storm is brewing. But things aren't so great within the Northern Alliance either. The vice captain, Dojin Wu, is being called out for being a selectively angry bastard. He's ready to start a war over his underlings getting beat up by Yusung, but lets his own boss disrespect him. The hypocrisy is real. It turns out Dojin used to have guts, but after getting robbed, he lost his nerve. His partner is calling him out on it, saying how disappointing it is to see him so scared. You can feel the betrayal and disappointment in his eyes. And the guy who told Dojin to wait a week before retaliating, he's officially panicking. He knows he's screwed. Shit, I'm fucked now. Yeah, buddy, you probably are. Meanwhile, some kids from Chuma High are watching the drama unfold. They're mocking the Northern Alliance guys, saying they're like something out of the 80s. A new generation of delinquents is on the rise, and they don't respect the old ways. The leader of Chungma, the guy with the glasses, is a real piece of work. He's enjoying all the golden eggs left behind by Hyuk High and rubbing it in the face of his defeated rival. His smug energy is off the charts. And it seems this was all part of some master plan orchestrated by this brown-haired guy. He brings up what Gammon said. We don't care about having authority over any other school. This means Yusung's withdrawal creates a power vacuum, and someone's ready to fill it. The plan is simple. Let Chungma take over the abandoned schools. Their money-obsessed leader will bleed them dry. And when that happens, who will those schools turn to for help? The one who rescued them before. This guy is trying to create a hero. He learned from the best that instead of waiting for some lucky prick to rise to the top, you have to manufacture one yourself. His ambition is both terrifying and brilliant. 2 weeks later, the plan is in motion. This muscular dude, Johan, seems to be a key player. And our boy Gammon, he's got that cold, determined smile on his face as he says, "Now let's get started." In the background, some other guys are absolutely losing it. The game has begun. The official ranking tournament kicks off with a bang. Red Hair over here delivers a flying kick that sends his opponent straight to the Shadow Realm. The action is fast, brutal, and absolutely epic. This is how they settle things at Yusung High. In another match, we've got this purple-haired kid, Jun Lee, literally choking a guy out while mocking him. Were you always this weak? The sheer disrespect, the condescending look, this guy is a top-tier villain in the making. We flash back to a red-haired man's past. His dad was a barber who was also a neighborhood gangster. He used to think his old man was some big shot, but later found out he was just a third-rate scoundrel. Talk about a reality check. This kid, Yanbaek, grew up pushing a recycling cart for his grandpa, but his ambition was massive. I'm going to be number one in Incheon. That dream was ignited the moment he heard his dad talk about being the best. Back in the present, our red-haired protagonist seems to have picked up his dad's trade, but he's forced to visit the one legit barbershop in the neighborhood every 2 weeks. Just getting a normal haircut is a struggle in this part of town. Meanwhile, back at school, there's another fight breaking out. Jun Lee versus Teo Kong. The crowd is already gossiping, betting that Jun is about to get his ass kicked. And just then, whoop, someone hits the floor hard. But it's not Jun who's down. He unleashes a vicious kick, sending Teo crashing to the ground. Cum. This is a total upset, and everyone watching is stunned. They seriously underestimated this purple-haired kid. Jun Lee doesn't let up. He keeps the pressure on, taunting his opponent. You're still very slow. The crowd can't believe what they're seeing. This kid is an absolute monster. Jun Lee is kicking ass. Someone questions how the official number 17 is allowed to fight number 1. But our boy Gammon just scoffs. What rules are there in fighting? That's the cold, hard truth of Yusung High. There are no rules. Teo Kong, who used to be one of Hamel's lackeys, has gotten way stronger. He's laying into Jun Lee with a barrage of brutal kicks and punches. The fight is getting seriously intense. Another fighter, the red-haired Johan Choi, enters the fray. He grabs his opponent, sneering, "Know your place, motherfucker." This guy radiates pure delinquent energy. He's a menace. Foom. A devastating punch connects, and it's lights out. Gammon and his crew watch from the sidelines, completely unfazed. Just another Tuesday at Yusung High. But just as Teo thinks he's got it made, another fighter drops in from above. This ponytail dude comes flying in and takes out 2 guys at once. BLAM. The sheer impact is insane. But Ponytail guy doesn't even get a second to breathe before another dude with a pipe ambushes him from behind. Whoosh. This fight is a total free-for-all, with new challengers popping up every second. It's absolute chaos. The brawl descends into pure madness. Blocks, cheap shots, people getting sent flying. Slap. The sound echoes through the hall. This has escalated into an all-out war. The red-haired guy gets knocked down, but he's smiling and flashing a peace sign. If I blocked that kick, it would have shattered my arm. He's admitting defeat, but enjoying the thrill of the fight. These guys are built different. So that's what this was about. Gammon, the student council president, and Jun Lee all went on a raid to Hyuk High. And Jun wasn't just there to watch. He was part of the main force. Wham! He sends a guy flying. This kid is a beast. Jun Lee went absolutely wild during that raid. He took on multiple opponents, and the fight was brutal. You can see he took some hits himself, but that look in his eyes is pure, unadulterated rage. The flashback ends, revealing just how crucial Jun Lee was to that fight. He wasn't a spectator. He was a key player who helped bring the pain to Hyukchang High. In another flashback, we see Jun constantly trying to catch up to Gammon. He swore to himself that he would surpass Gammon and become #1 in Incheon. That intense rivalry is what fuels him. It's because he trained under the beastly Gammon Yoon that Jun grew so strong. Now, he's ready to become #1 alongside him. Back in the present, Gammon smirks. So it's settled then? A new alliance is forged. The battle is over. The victor stands with his foot on the loser's head, asserting his dominance. Look at the cold, sharp glint in Jun Lee's eyes. He's earned his spot at the top. This is the law of the jungle at Yusung High. Just then, this blonde guy with glasses literally smashes through a door. People are screaming and running for their lives, but he just stands there with a casual, confident grin like it was nothing. What an entrance! As the sun sets, our red-haired friend is clutching his chest in pain, while two other guys are just grinning at his misery. The orange-haired one, in particular, has a punchable face. They're from class 1 of 5, and they look like trouble. Jun Lee, now the official #1 freshman, is flexing hard. But his friends are already over it, trying to figure out which cafe to study at. The duality of these characters is amazing. One minute, they're brawling. The next, they're worried about homework. But as they're making plans, Gammon realizes their key study buddy, Four Eyes, is missing. He wonders if he got an update from Minwei. And just like that, they see him staggering out of the school gate. He does not look okay. Four Eyes is beaten up, muttering Gammon's name. A red-haired kid recognizes him as the guy who was being held at Hyukchang. What happened to him? Why is he in this state? Gammon's friends finally catch up to him, and they're shocked to see the bruises on his neck. It looks like our boy just got out of a serious fight himself. The path to academic success is paved with violence. And the chapter ends on a massive cliffhanger. Dun dun. You know that sound means something big is about to happen. Can the study group ever catch a break? New day, new drama. Our boy is cruising in his fancy car when some kid just walks right into the street. Gammon screaming, "Get out of the road, jackass!" But it's too late. Whoosh! The impact is unavoidable. The kid goes down, and the driver immediately gets out and accuses him of being a blackmailer. Are you serious, dude? Our boy Gammon is stunned. The crowd starts gathering, and the situation gets chaotic fast. Another guy who saw the whole thing can't believe the driver is treating a student like this. He's about to step in when he realizes he knows the kid who got hit. Small world, huh? Plot twist. The driver is a professional scammer himself, and he starts lecturing Gammon on how to properly fake an accident. This guy's logic is so insane, Gammon just explodes. Who the hell are you? And this mysterious scammer, tutor, he's Gammon's actual former tutor. What are the odds? He's begging him, please, get Gammon Yoon. It looks like the study group is about to get a very unexpected new member. Meanwhile, Four Eyes is in bad shape and being rushed to the hospital. Gammon's other friends get a text from him saying something came up. Looks like today's study session is officially canceled. Our girl gets a text from Gammon saying his dad's in town and he'll text her later. She's a little bummed, thinking he's being cold. Why does he always sound so stiff? The teenage angst is strong with this one. Minwei decides she's not waiting around. She uses an app to track Gammon's location. Turns out, he'd sent her a link to a tracking app earlier. Was he anticipating she'd get into trouble? Smart move, Gammon. As she heads toward him, Minwei thinks to herself that Chungma isn't that dangerous since it's only students. Famous last words. Just then, she spots her target. Oh, there he is. But what she sees is Gammon talking to a middle-aged man, and her brain immediately jumps to one conclusion. Father-in-law. Meanwhile, Hank Young is also completely in the dark. A massive misunderstanding is brewing. And turns out, the man really is Gammon's father. They're catching up, and the dad is complaining about how the whole world seems to be conspiring to keep him and his wife apart. It's a sweet, heartwarming father-son moment. And get this, Gammon's dad isn't just some guy. He's a genius doctor with both an MD and a PhD, and he was the youngest person to ever get a doctorate at Hankook University. The man is a legend. No wonder our boy is so obsessed with studying. His dad became a national hero after saving a ship captain from a gunshot wound in Somalia. But then, he suddenly quit everything and left to work with Doctors Without Borders. This guy's life is like a movie. When his dad hears about the study group, he's totally dismissive. You're trying to study in that piece of crap school of yours. It's harsh, but he's not wrong. Trying to get an education at Yusung is basically a suicide mission. But Gammon doesn't care what people think. He's sticking to his plan. Luckily, his former tutor is his biggest cheerleader. A man needs great colleagues on his way to success. That's the encouragement our boy needed to hear. Gammon remembers watching his dad on the news as a kid, being hailed as a hero. I want to be a hero too, he thought. The desire to be just like his father has been with him his whole life. It's a powerful motivator. But his mom always worried about him, thinking he wasn't as smart as his dad. And his father's side of the family constantly looked down on them. Growing up with that kind of pressure, living in his father's shadow, must have been incredibly tough. His grandma would grill him about his grades, and his mom would chase him around about his homework. But through it all, his dad was the one person who always encouraged him, always told him, "You can do it." That unwavering support meant everything. Even though they live apart now, Gammon still loves his dad a lot. He's happily telling him all about his new friends. And who's watching this whole wholesome scene from behind a pillar? Minwi, of course. "Girl, your stalking is getting a little obvious." Gammon mentions that his middle school tutor is now a teacher at his school. And his dad's response is cryptic. "You don't have to try so hard." What does that mean? Is there something about Gammon we don't know? Just then, we cut to the hospital. The kid who was in a coma is awake. He tells the red-haired guy something that completely blows his mind. This is it. The turning point of the entire story is about to be revealed. And back with Gammon, he's got some unexpected visitors. An old man with a red hat and a cane, flanked by guys in suits, has shown up. "How did you know I was here?" Gammon asks, stunned. Who is this powerful-looking old man? Look at the tension in this frame. This old man and Gammon clearly have a history. The story leaves us hanging, with so many questions unanswered. Our boy's quest for a college degree just got a whole lot more complicated. All right, picking up right where we left off, our boy Gammon got cornered by this mysterious old man. And the new chapter wastes no time giving us the answer. Bam! Turns out this is his grandfather. Look at the entourage, the suits, the sheer power radiating from this guy. And Gammon? He's just got his head down, meekly calling him grandfather. Yeah, you can cut the tension in this room with a knife. And you just know this tension has deep roots. We flash back to a painful memory. We see Gammon's mom looking distressed, his dad absolutely furious. But the grandfather? He's just sitting there, cool as a cucumber, making sarcastic remarks about visitation rights after a divorce. The absolute nerve of this guy. And our poor boy Gammon had a front row seat to this whole toxic meltdown. No wonder Gammon is so conflicted. We see glimpses of his grandfather's public persona. A great man. Some call him chairman, others teacher. He's practically a legend in his own right. But what kind of man is he behind closed doors? Gammon's narration says it all. Different people call my grandfather different things, but I honestly don't know what kind of man he truly is. Because at home, all he gets is that piercing glare and an aura of pure intimidation. He flashes back to a family dinner. His dad just became a national hero for saving someone. He's all over the news. You'd think the family would be proud, right? Wrong. The atmosphere is ice cold. Gammon admits he never bothered to find out more about his grandpa, probably because he was too terrified to even try. At the table, Gammon's dad tries to lighten the mood, joking, proud to be the dad of a national hero. But Grandpa isn't having it. He shuts him down cold, lecturing him that momentary glory is fleeting. You must think about what you can gain, he says. This isn't wisdom. This is just cold, hard cynicism. But this time, his dad stands up for himself. He cuts his father off, looks him dead in the eye, and says, "I didn't save that man to be famous. I did it because I'm a doctor." Yes, that's the energy. A true hero speaking his truth. And you can guess how well that went over. The grandfather is disgusted. "Terrible," he mutters. "The pursuit of dubious values that are neither glory nor profit will only lead to your failure." The clash of ideologies in this family is insane. And Gammon's inner monologue hits hard. He reflects on how adults think kids don't understand anything, so they talk openly in front of them. He knows exactly what the root of the problem is. My grandfather never approved of my father's marriage to my mother. And the result of that disapproval, somehow, it always ended up hurting him the most. And we snap back to the present. The grandfather looks down on Gammon. "So, you're in a technical high school." He clicks his tongue. "Goddamned idiot. Well, if you don't have the brains, at least learn a skill." Ouch. The disrespect is off the charts. Before Gammon can even react, his teacher, Mr. Hankyong, barges in. Turns out he overheard his students bad-mouthing him earlier, and it set him off. He starts laying into Gammon's grandpa. Freaking boomers, man. Sticking their noses where they don't belong. This sudden outburst leaves everyone completely stunned. Gammon and the study group are just staring, shocked that their teacher would go off like that. Turns out, Hankyong was ranting about his own homeroom teacher from back in the day, but now Gammon's grandpa thinks it's all directed at him. This is a whole new level of awkward. But Hankyong is on a roll. Adults should be encouraging the younger generation, not going around judging them, talking about who'll be successful or not. He's just venting his own frustrations, But accidentally, he's saying everything Gammon has probably wanted to say his whole life. After that chaotic interruption, Gammon's grandpa leaves as quickly as he arrived, like a cyclone. Hank Young tells Gammon not to worry about what he said, and our boy plays it cool. I'm not worried. He's always been that way. But that little butt at the end tells us everything. He's definitely not okay. And finally, Gammon's composure cracks. He turns to his teacher. That's what you ultimately want to say to me, too. That studying is not for me, isn't it? He thinks everyone, even his supportive teacher, believes he's just trying too hard to be like his genius dad. The pain of being misunderstood is written all over his face. Hank Young is taken aback. He remembers how he used to cheer Gammon on, telling him, "You can do it, kiddo." Seeing him so broken now, he admits, "Honestly, I regret going on TV that day." He realizes that the fame and attention only made things harder for our boy. Because from that day on, his father assumed Gammon wanted to be a genius just like him. We see a memory of his dad yelling at his mom, "Stop excessively encouraging him. Studying only comes easy for a genius like you." But Gammon's drive wasn't just about grades. It was to prove his grandfather's side of the family wrong, so they would finally accept his mother. Gammon's voice cracks as he confesses, "There will come a day when you become disappointed in yourself. I no longer want to live through the moments I disappoint the ones I love." The sheer weight of everyone's expectations is crushing him. And then, Hank Young delivers the final, devastating blow. He reveals the real reason he's here, an ultimatum from Gammon's father. "Your mother and I will talk about remarriage," he says. "And to do that, I'm thinking about abandoning my side of the family. But there's a catch. So, Gammon, I'm asking you to give up on your college entrance exam in Korea." The deal is laid out. Gammon's family can get back together, the three of them, and start a new life in America. But only if he agrees to give up his dream. His dad isn't forcing him, but he says, "If you agree, I'll see you at Incheon Airport in a week." He's literally being asked to trade his entire future for a chance to have his family back. As Gammon is reeling from this impossible choice, the girl he helped out earlier catches up to him to say thanks. It's a sweet, awkward interaction, maybe the only bright spot in his entire miserable day. But this small moment of peace is about to be shattered. Because meanwhile, trouble is brewing elsewhere. The Northern Alliance has found the kid who got beaten up before, and they're not holding back. The violence in this school just never stops. And back at the hospital, the kid who was in a coma is finally awake. He drops an absolute bombshell on the red-haired guy. Min Seong-payon is forcing students with no money to throw themselves into traffic to cash in on insurance. This isn't just bullying anymore. This is straight-up criminal exploitation. Hearing this horrifying truth, something inside our red-haired friend snaps. The guilt, the anger, it all transforms into pure, cold resolve. He clenches his fist, a fire of vengeance lit in his eyes. It's clear now he's going after Min Seong-payon himself, and he's going to make him pay. But our new top dog barely takes a step before he's surrounded by a group of thugs looking for trouble. They're talking big, saying they'll start with a beating. Little do they know, they've picked a fight with the wrong guy. And the result is predictable. With a single, brutal high kick, Jun Lee drops their leader like a sack of potatoes. Look at him, not even breaking sweat. He was clearly hoping for more of a challenge. Just then, another challenger approaches. A blonde guy named Gwang-gu. His lackeys are confused, whispering, but Min Seong said Gammon Yoon is a four eyes. Huh, so that's it. These idiots have mistaken our new guy for Gammon. Jun Lee introduces himself, clearly unimpressed, and asking if this new guy is Min Seong. The goons on the sideline just laugh, mocking him for not even knowing who the legendary Min Seong-payon of the Northern Alliance is. Oh, the tension is thick now. Enough talk. Time for action. Jun Lee once again unleashes his devastating kicks, sending the blonde dude flying. The power, the technique, it's just flawless. He's on another level. He doesn't just kick the guy, he kicks the phone out of his hand, catches it, and then casually asks what his lock screen pattern is. Isn't AZ what most people use? He's not just beating him physically, he's styling on him. The disrespect is legendary. Losing his phone sends Gwang-gu into a rage. He snaps, smashing the phone on the ground and lunging at Jun Lee like a wild animal. Looks like the warm-up is over. The real fight is about to begin, and Gwang-gu's fighting style is pure, unadulterated chaos. He just barrels forward, tackling Jun Lee to the ground. No technique, no finesse, just brute force. It's so reckless that it actually catches the highly skilled Jun Lee off guard. It's not just him either. His two buddies jump in, and suddenly Jun Lee is getting triple-teamed. They're sticking to him, giving him no room to use his kicks. It's a smart, if dirty, strategy. As they're wailing on him, Gwang-gu drops a bombshell. To be honest, I knew you weren't Gammon Yoon. I already knew who the fuck you were. Jun Lee. Plot twist. This wasn't a case of mistaken identity. It was a calculated ambush. And we flash back 2 weeks to see how. Gwengu got all his intel about Yusung Hai from this other dude, Yukin Beck. He's been planning this for a while. Yukin reminds him that they're both part of the Northern Alliance, that they're all supposed to be on the same team. There's a clear subtext of cooperation here. Gwengu plays the fool, acting all friendly and supportive, saying they need to take down Yusung to improve their standing. But his inner monologue reveals his true nature. People think I'm some kind of dull idiot, but I like to gather enough intelligence before I do anything. He reveals his entire game plan. He knows Jun Lee is a kick-based fighter. His strategy? If I stick fucking closed the whole time, he can't do jack shit. This guy isn't an idiot at all. He's a cunning strategist. And his strategy works to perfection. Jun Lee, the #1 freshman, gets completely overwhelmed by Gwengu's spam-the-button style fighting and gets sent flying. A perfect example that brains can sometimes beat brawn. Jun Lee is getting absolutely pummeled while Gwengu's crew cheers him on. Meanwhile, the real Yoon Gamin seems to have gotten some urgent news and is now rushing off somewhere. We realize now that Jun Lee was basically set up. Yukin Beck baited him into fighting Yusung, probably hoping they'd take each other out. And in a moment of frustration after the fight, Jun Lee ends up decking Yukin, muttering to himself, "Damn it, I really have to stop doing that." Cutting back to Gamin, he's tracked down the 2 thugs who ran away earlier. He's ready to throw down, but they manage to give him the slip. These guys are not just fast, they're resourceful. They use whatever they can find, bricks, even their own friends, to fight back against Gamin. The survival of the fittest environment at Yusung is on full display. But our boy Gamin is always one step ahead. He reveals he's been honing his peripheral vision, easily dodging their cheap shots, and sending one of the thugs flying with a powerful dash. Just as Gamin is about to finish the job, another player enters the game. An orange-haired kid calmly steps in his way. "I don't think it's the time for you to be doing this," he says with a smirk. "Uh-oh, looks like we've got another boss battle on our hands." Meanwhile, back at the cafe, the study group is getting antsy waiting for Gamin. They're worried he's out fighting again. Little do they know, a new threat has found them. They're being surrounded by a group of students in gray uniforms. Jaiwoo is so frustrated, she snaps her pencil in half. With Gamin nowhere in sight, it looks like the study group is going to have to face this new threat on their own. The tension is absolutely electric. And we cut to a noisy arcade. Some students are talking about a phenomenon called tawuran, a deadly form of street brawl popular among Indonesian students, fought purely for pride and turf. And who do we see listening in? Our main antagonist, Min Seong Pyeon. When he hears about tawuran, his first thought isn't about the danger. It's, "This could make me a lot of money." Look at that greedy smile. This guy is planning to turn school violence into his personal cash cow. Back at the study cafe, things are about to pop off. The thugs from Chungma High have surrounded the study group and are talking trash. Gamin is coolly counting them, 6 in total. But Jaiwoo has had enough, crackling her knuckles, ready to throw down. Just in the nick of time, an unexpected ally arrives. This absolute unit of a guy, who turns out to be part of the study group, comes to their rescue. You love to see the team having each other's backs. The Chungma High goons are momentarily surprised, but quickly regain their confidence. "We'll take it easy on you," their leader sneers, clearly underestimating the people he's dealing with. Famous last words. And just like that, our muscle-bound hero launches himself down the stairs, taking out the entire group like a human bowling ball. Crash. The sheer impact is insane. You can almost feel that through the screen. Seeing his crew get demolished, the leader panics, locks the door to trap the big guy inside, and makes a run for it. This gives the rest of the study group a chance to escape. As they dash through the streets, the girls figure out who their attackers were. They recognize the Chungma High uniform from Min Hui's Instagram. See, social media can be useful for something other than selfies. But the danger is far from over. Out of nowhere, a motorcycle comes speeding right at them. In a split second, Gamin's friend, Jianyip, shoves one of the girls out of the way, taking the full force of the impact himself. Everyone is in shock. The girl he saved is scraped up but okay, though she's clearly in pain. These Chungma guys are playing for keeps. They're actually trying to kill them. Suddenly, another motorcycle screeches to a halt in front of them. The rider gets off, a cool-looking girl with a top knot and a piercing gaze. Who is she? Friend or foe? Turns out, this is Yeoljeum Kwon, the #3 of Chungma High and the Northern Alliance. And she is not happy. "Did you really just try to fucking hit her?" she screams at the other rider. Interesting. So there's some internal conflict within the Chungma ranks. In the middle of all this chaos, Gamin's phone rings. The caller ID? Red Pepper Paste. Gotta love these nicknames. He picks up, and it's bad news. He1 is hurt. Before Gammon can even process the news, a familiar face appears. The orange-haired kid from before. He's got a smug look on his face. This was all his doing. Gammon is furious. "You son of a bitch. How did you know where they were?" The orange-haired punk just keeps taunting him. "See? Go around looking for trouble, and the trouble will find the ones closest to you." That's the last straw. Gammon explodes, launching himself into a flying kick. You can mess with him, but you do not mess with his friends. But in a shocking turn of events, the orange-haired kid blocks Gammon's full power kick with one hand. Effortlessly. Even Jun Lee, watching from the side, is stunned. Just how strong is this guy? And with Gammon off balance, the orange-haired kid reveals his true target. He pivots and delivers a brutal knee strike right to Jun Lee's head. Slam! The impact is massive, and as Jun Lee reels back, he finally recognizes his attacker. He pins Jun Lee to the ground and lays out Min Seong's whole plan. They're taking over Yusung's underling schools to use them for their money-making schemes. And a gambler like Min Seong will never, ever stop trying to make a buck. He scoffs at them. "You're still going to go around doing this trashy, pushing innocent people out on a limb until they risk their lives." His words are dripping with contempt for their methods. His philosophy is twisted. It's all about squeezing as much as you can out of the weak. He's got Jun Lee pinned, yelling in his face, fueled by a deep-seated hatred. There's clearly some bad blood between these two. Finally, he makes his offer. In 1 week, Min Seong is going to host a tournament where he can take bets. Enter the tournament. The terms are simple. If you guys win, we'll free these assholes just the way you want. He's trying to use Yusung as a weapon against Min Seong. He explains the tournament will be broadcast live, so Min Seong can't cheat. The one thing Min Seong cares about more than life itself is the trust in the gambling institution. This is their one shot. All they need is a team of 5 people from Yusung. The news of the tournament spreads like wildfire through Yusung High. Everyone is buzzing about it. For our heroes, this is the ultimate challenge, assembling a team that can actually take on the Northern Alliance's best. Gammon looks up at the night sky, knowing one thing for sure. The competition will be fierce. To win this thing, Jun Lee starts scouting for talent within Yusung. And the first person that comes to mind? That dude with the gold chain and that strange grappling technique. Our boy, Yoon Gammon. Jun Lee tracks down the kid Gammon, saved earlier, and asks him who the strongest fighter at Chuma High is. The kid flashes back to being completely overpowered by Gammon, recalling it was only a second, but he had more force than Dojin Woo. The kid explains that Chuma's main force was once completely wiped out by someone named Hanwol Pai. After that humiliation, Min Seong Paeon started reinforcing his power by recruiting talented fighters from all over the country. As a result, he spent a ton of money to recruit Yeoljeum Kwon from the Jeonpo clan and Chang Seong-woo from the Taejun Alliance, getting them both transferred to Chungma. These guys are the number ones at their old schools. Meanwhile, all of Hyuk Chang-hai's former underling schools have banded together. They're asking Yusung for help to take down Chungma once and for all. This tournament is becoming more than just a school rivalry. It's an all-out war between factions. They reveal they tried to fight back before, but Chungma caught them and forced them to jump into traffic for the insurance scam. The trauma and humiliation from that ordeal broke their spirits completely. Hearing their tragic story, Jun Lee pats the kid on the back, encouraging him not to give up. It seems their plight has struck a chord with him. He's resolved to help them. With a newfound purpose, Jun Lee seems fired up to take on this challenge. On the other side of town, Gammon's teacher, Han Kyong, is still thinking about Gammon's complicated family situation. Han Kyong pieces it all together. Gammon's dad probably feels like it was his fault the family fell apart, that he couldn't measure up to his own father. Now he's trying to fix it by getting everyone to America. For Gammon, being asked to give up is like hearing, "I'll let you in the fight," before he's even thrown a punch. It shakes the very foundation of why he started studying so hard in the first place, shaking him to his core. Meanwhile, it seems Gammon has his own side project going on. He's using some tech to monitor a news report about a woman suspected of drug possession. Our boy is multitasking, juggling fighting tournaments and secret investigations. Later that night, Gammon lies in bed, unable to sleep. He thinks about his teacher, realizing, "I really had no idea that you were going through something complicated in your life too." It's a poignant reminder that everyone is fighting their own silent battles. The next day, one of the study group members finds Gammon with a huge lead. She thinks she knows what happened to Ms. Lee's phone. While working at the Chungma stable, an illegal gambling den, she saw a mysterious guy who's always trading in boxes of phones for cash. They call him the phone guy. He's not a student, but he's a VIP at the casino. He gets cash for the phones, then immediately blows it all on the slot machines. A vicious cycle. The girl admits she was too scared to get a good look at his face. The guy just had this unpredictable, dangerous vibe about him. But she provides a crucial piece of intel. In 1 week, the stable is hosting a special event for VIP bettors, and the phone guy will probably be there. That's the same time as the tournament. It's the perfect opportunity, but she warns Gammon not to go, fearing for his safety. She also reminds him that the 1 week deadline is the same day his dad asked him to meet at the airport. She genuinely wants him to have a chance to get his family back together. After all, isn't family the most important thing? Back in his room, Gammon stares at the note stuck to his fridge. I'm going to college. The words mock him now, echoing his father's request to give it all up. His dream versus his family. It's an impossible choice. The next day, news that King Jun is forming a team for the Chungma tournament spreads through the school like wildfire. Everyone's talking about it, speculating on who will make the cut for this epic showdown. The whole school is treating it like a festival, but Jun Lee is stressed out, struggling to find fighters. He's so dejected he's just slumping on a tire, which completely baffles two teachers passing by. The contrast is hilarious. Jun Lee's followers come to Gammon for help, asking if he can find 5 good fighters. Before he can answer, Jun Lee himself thumps him on the head, desperately asking, "Nobody?" Yeah, team recruitment is not going well. The problem is, while some weaklings want to join to build their reputations, many of the strong freshmen and sophomores don't recognize King Jun's authority. So far, he's only managed to gather 3 people. They're seriously shorthanded. Just when all hope seems lost, an unexpected visitor arrives. The moment the team sees who it is, they break out in a cold sweat, their eyes wide with shock. Who is this person that commands so much fear? It's him, Hamel Pai, the legendary fighter who single-handedly crushed Chungma High, the one who was expelled from Yusong. The defeated king has returned. Turns out, Hamel Pai was exiled to Kangwon province by his older brother, who seems to be some kind of big shot. He's been living in forced retirement, but you can tell from his expression he's been itching for a comeback. Before leaving his exile, he tells his brother's subordinate that he wants to swing by Incheon on the way. He's not just wandering back. He has a specific destination in mind. Hamel Pai's return sends shockwaves through the school. Everyone is on edge, terrified. The defeated king has returned, they whisper. The legend is back. Hamel gets straight to the point. I'm here to take back what was stolen from me. And Jun Lee immediately knows what he's talking about. The letter. The important letter that Gammon has been holding on to. Jun Lee's loyal followers step up, ready to defend their king, but Hamel Pai just stares them down, completely unfazed. He's playing a different game. But before a fight can break out, Gammon's teachers intervene. They make Hamel an offer. If you want it back, we'll give it to you. But on one condition. And what's the condition? Join our team for the Chungma High Fighting Tournament. They're using the letter as a bargaining chip to get the legendary Hamel Pai to fight for them. Gammon is floored. This is a total power move. The teachers argue that in a competition like this, no one cares about a student's expulsion record. Winning is all that matters. It's about the symbolic meaning. It's a risky but brilliant plan. But there's one major problem. Putting Hamel Pai, the symbolic figure of Yusong, on the same team as the current king, Jun Lee, and our boy Gammon. Would Gammon even approve? Looking at his face, the answer is a hard no. Gammon just sits there, head down, silent. The internal conflict is palpable. His principles on one side, the chance to win on the other. What will our boy choose? Let's check in with the bad guys. Min Seong Paeon is being questioned by a detective about the whole self-harm insurance scam. He coolly denies everything, calling the accusations a crock of shit. He then goes on a whole tirade about how messed up the world is, how violence trumps public authority, and irrationality trumps common sense. The way he sits there, so smug and untouchable, just makes you want to punch him. After the detective leaves, Min Seong scoffs. He believes that relying on testimony from 2-bit criminals will never solve school violence. He's a monster, but he has a twistedly clear view of the world he operates in. But that detective, Kwang Hyun Park, isn't giving up. He's already infiltrated the school, acting on a tip about an illegal gambling den in the basement. His gut is telling him he's onto something big. He confronts Min Seong, who just throws it back in his face, saying there are plenty of corrupt cops in Korea. The mind games between these two are intense. And just then, the principal shows up. With a sickeningly sweet smile, he puts his hand on Min Seong's back and asks the detective, "Have you completed your business?" It's a polite way of telling him to get lost. The principal insists there's nothing in the basement and that they don't want police roaming the halls. But when he mentions the basement, look at Min Seong's eyes. That slight flinch tells us everything. The detective hit the jackpot. Min Seong's inner monologue confirms it. The principal is on his payroll. Who has the balls to turn down double their annual salary in an instant? he thinks. Money talks, and it has completely corrupted Chungma High from the top down. At Chungma High, the slot machines and extortion are just side hustles. The real game is the Tawuran, the big tournament. And anyone suspected of being a spy is dealt with brutally. Min Seong and his crew are finalizing the tournament plans. He's got security and the location locked down thanks to his partner's connections. He smugly informs him that he got the Yusung High pricks to participate. Everything is going according to his twisted plan. But what he doesn't know is that someone is eavesdropping. A girl with pigtails is literally hanging upside down from the doorframe, listening to every word. And right behind her, Hamel Pai and our boy, Gammon Yun. The hunters are about to become the hunted. The game is just getting started. So after eavesdropping on a master plan, our boy Gammon and his red-headed friend are talking strategy. Redhead is all fired up, ready to destroy the Chungma High pricks. But Gammon, ever the moral compass, isn't convinced. We don't have to sink to their level, he insists. But Redhead's not having it. He's like, look, Gammon, half measures won't work. If they just beat them up, there's no guarantee they won't come back for more. He argues that if they're going to do this, they have to go all in, make sure those scumbags have no choice but to keep their promise. Just when you think they're about to form a plan, Gammon drops a bombshell. He can't make it. Turns out, the tournament is on the exact same day he promised his father he'd be at Incheon Airport. And look at his face, man. The guilt and exhaustion are hitting him hard. But his boy's got his back. Redhead steps up, telling Gammon not to worry about it all. We'll take care of it ourselves this time, he declares. Now that's what you call a true friend. Meanwhile, back at the school, some serious drama is unfolding. The teachers are whispering about an expelled student who's back on campus. And get this, he's the son of the powerful Yeonbaek Pai, and he specifically asked the principal to keep this visit a secret from his old man. Shady business is afoot. And speak of the devil, there he is. The silver-haired menace, casually confronting the guy with glasses. He's all smiles and taunts. Isn't this where your gang used to hang out? I guess things aren't going as you hope. Oh, the tension is thick. Silverhair claims he's not here to fight. He's just here to drop a nuke. He leans in and whispers, Ms. Hankyong Lee, aren't you? And Glasses Guy absolutely freezes. His cover is blown. And right on cue, a fight breaks out in the hallway. Talk about dramatic timing. Not taking that revelation lightly, Glasses grabs him, demanding he spills everything he knows. But Silverhair is just too cool for school, mocking him with a smirk. All you guys so quick to violence. He's playing a completely different game. The plot thickens. They're talking about a teacher who supposedly resigned voluntarily, but our guy suspects the White Lee gang was involved. Silverhair plays dumb, claiming he was stuck in Kangwon after that whole student council mess. Yeah, right? He definitely knows more than he's letting on. Silverhair hits him with some cryptic nonsense. I'll never tell. He smirks, calling him too rigid and uptight. Then he gets all philosophical. Nothing in this world is ever as what it seems on the surface. This guy is a walking mystery box. And then he drops the real story. Everyone thought the first teacher resigned because Mugiyu and Ah Sung attacked him. Nope. Silverhair reveals the truth. Mr. Yu, the teacher, was a creep who tried to touch Ah Sung. The delinquents were just defending their friend. Suddenly, the whole story is flipped on its head. The worst part? The new teacher apparently just laughed it all off. Silverhair twists the knife, looking straight at our guy. Strange, isn't it? That's why you should never jump to conclusions. Then he hits him with the ultimate guilt trip. Ever think to yourself these things might be your fault, so you have to deal with them? Ouch. And it hits him hard. He's drowning in guilt, flashing back to all the violence, all the people who got hurt because of him. He chose to come to this hellhole for a reason. And now Silverhair is making him question if he's the cause of all the problems, not the solution. But then, in a surprising twist, Silverhair offers some advice. Don't tie yourself down so hard, he says. These things may not even be your fault. So live your life freely. Is he genuinely trying to help? Or is this just another one of his mind games? Our boy's not buying the live, freely speech. He's all about responsibility. And Silverhair smirks, remembering a time Gammon said something similar to him, right in this very room. Isn't 15 too young to live like a grown-up? He recalls. The history between these two runs deep. As the day winds down, everyone's getting ready in their own way. Some are training, some are slacking off, and then the text comes in. It's Gammon's dad. A simple reminder. Flight's at 7 p.m. at Incheon Airport. The clock is ticking. Night falls, and we're at the tournament venue. These guys in suits look like serious business, probably security. They're grumbling about how high school punks are holding a tournament of this scale, and they're waiting for Team Yusung to arrive. The atmosphere is tense. And here they are. But this is not a happy family reunion. The girl is pissed. She has to be on the same team as that prick. Everyone's got beef with someone. A real band of misfits. But hey, they're all here. Time to go. They quickly learn that this isn't even the main event. It's just the qualifying arena. The real tournament is elsewhere. It's a 5 versus 5 team competition, with qualifiers held at different locations. Only the winning team advances. The stakes are high from the get-go. And then the guide drops a terrifying piece of info. The round begins the second they turn the corner. No start signal. Oh, and by the way, their opponents are notoriously brutal. Before they can even process that, crash. The team ahead of them gets absolutely demolished in an instant. And who's responsible? The other Yusung team, led by none other than Silverhair. They've already taken care of business, standing over the defeated bodies like it's nothing. Do we get a bonus or something for getting here first? He asks nonchalantly. Our crew just walked into a bloodbath. But our team isn't intimidated. Look at this green-haired kid, smirking despite the carnage. Looks like we got competition for who's going to look the coolest. The swagger is off the charts. This is going to be a clash of titans. Meanwhile, on the highway to Incheon Airport, our boy Gaiman is having a serious crisis of conscience. He's driving to keep a promise to his dad, but his friends are walking into a war zone. That shot of the hand on the suitcase, man, that's heavy. The airport is bustling, a world away from the chaos about to unfold. We get the title card over a 6 surveillance shot of team that's already won their qualifier. At the same time, in a car somewhere, a new character seems to be doubting the strength of her own team. The plot is expanding in every direction. And now we're introduced to another crew. These guys are cooking up something nasty on a computer. The audience will eat this shit up, and you can get your revenge. Oh great, another revenge plot. This tournament is getting messy. This underground stadium is their stage. The organizer looks down on everyone, calling the fighters mere decorations. Meanwhile, a purple-haired guy screams into the empty arena, "Thank for the money, motherfuckers!" The air is thick with resentment and rage. The crowd is absolutely electric, thanks to the underground broadcaster, BJ Dox's song. This is the Battle of the Miners, a coliseum with no rules except one: no killing. The audience is losing their minds, and the energy is explosive. The place is packed, way more than expected. A black-haired girl is trying to blend in with a rowdy crowd, but she's clearly on edge. She's keeping her cool, but you can see the sweat on her brow. She knows this place is dangerous. Turns out, she got her ticket from some guy from Chuma High. Look at this dude, trying to shoot his shot, asking her to get food later. She awkwardly turns him down, saying she doesn't really eat. But look at her blushing. There's definitely a story there. Back with the Yusung crew, the blonde girl is getting impatient, yelling at everyone to get a move on. That's when our black-haired girl casually asks, "Mugyu is going to fight in it, right?" The fangirling is real, and she's clearly here for one reason. Our girl is still reeling, unable to believe her eyes. Meanwhile, the organizer takes the stage. "I'll keep this brief," he says, acknowledging the diverse crowd gathered here tonight. You can feel the tension building. Those who have lost everything, and those who have gained everything, he proclaims. The crowd goes wild. The gambling is in full swing. Everyone's putting their money down as the first round matches are about to be drawn. The hype is insane. The first matchup is about to be revealed. The MC hypes up the crowd, questioning the motive behind the tournament. It's not about prize money, so what is it? Is it about freedom for all the schools under Chuma High's control? He roars. And with that epic introduction, Team Yusung makes their entrance. The team is a mix of emotions: worry, anger, excitement. Redhead reassures his nervous teammate, promising to handle things so he won't even have to fight. And then there's Silverhair, cool as a cucumber. He knows what's up, especially with White Lead helping things out behind the scenes. Up in the stands, the Chuma High crew is watching. They suspect the organizer didn't pull this off by himself. And just as they're discussing it, their challengers make themselves known. A blue-haired kid pops up from below, a defiant grin on his face. And their opponents are Team Osaka. The MC goes nuts, introducing them as young rookies from the Osaka Yakuza who crossed the sea just for this tournament. Things just went from a high school brawl to an international incident. These Yakuza rookies are no joke. They'll do anything as long as they don't kill someone, and they're here to make money. And who's that they spot? None other than the young boss of the White Lead gang himself. This tournament is way more than just a high school fight club. Apparently, this Osaka crew and the White Lead gang used to be bitter rivals, even had a bloody war on the streets. But now, they're business partners. And Yusung High is about to face their youth division. This is bad news. The rules are set, best of 5 series, and the betting links are live. And surprise, surprise, everyone's money is on Team Japan. No matter how good Yusung is at fighting, They're up against the freaking Yakuza. Plus, as the crowd points out, they got a girl on their team. The final odds are 93-7. The crowd's collective intuition is screaming an Osaka win. Redhead is panicking, telling Silverhair, the captain, to make a call. But look at him, completely unbothered. He's either crazy confident or just plain crazy. The team knows that matchups are crucial for victory, so they're trying to figure out who to send in first. The plan is to take out the strongest opponent right away. And as the fighters enter the ring, we see Osaka's first pick, a tough-looking blonde girl. She means business. The Osaka fighter immediately starts trash-talking, claiming he can't bring himself to hit a girl and wants to forfeit. This pisses off Redhead in the stands, who starts yelling. The blonde girl is not amused. "Could you not look so serious?" she taunts. "You're going to make me look more ridiculous." And then she makes her move. From the sidelines, his teammate screams, "You idiot." The fighter remembers the one rule. You can do anything as long as you don't kill. He can't throw this opportunity away. In that moment, something inside him snaps. The beast is unleashed. But just as he's about to go beast mode, holy, he gets absolutely rocked. The blonde girl lands a devastating blow, sending him flying before he even knew what hit him. He gets slammed to the ground, but manages to pin her down. However, because of his weapon, he can't complete the mount. Pissed off, she lets out a roar. The fight is getting intense. The crowd is stunned. One of the he's down. With the odds at 93-7, nobody saw this coming. And our boy, Jaiwo Lee, aka Rowdy, stand victorious, flexing on the haters. "Get ready to lose all your money, motherfuckers," he declares. Absolute legend. The Yusung team is in shock. Hao, he's down for the count. Turns out their opponent was too careless and took a direct hit to the chin. As the ref starts the countdown, the crowd is buzzing. "Did you see how fast she moved?" someone yells. "Fucking Korean high school girls, man." The respect is real. The Osaka boss is furious. "See that, assholes? She's an O girl," he screams. They know if they're not careful, they'll become a laughingstock. The first match ended too quickly, but it's time to move on. Round 2 begins. Round 2 pits our red-headed boy, Jun Lee, against his next opponent. And what's his motivation? I saw you giggling at Jaiwo earlier. He's fighting for his friend's honor. The protectiveness is real. Jun Lee immediately unleashes a flurry of kicks, giving his opponent no room to breathe. The crowd is loving it. But back on the sidelines, the blonde girl is in serious distress, clutching her stomach. Looks like that spicy food from last night is coming back to haunt her. While the girl is having a bathroom emergency, the fight escalates. The Osaka fighter lands a brutal kick, sending Jun Lee flying with a sickening thwack. Catching his breath, Jun Lee decides it's time to wrap this up. His opponents are getting cocky, thinking this is easier than they expected. But then they notice something strange. Why are they smiling? A chill runs down their spine. They've underestimated Team Yusung. That's when one of the Osaka guys decides he's had enough. "Fine, enough playing," he growls, his face twisting into a demonic grin. "Now, let's tear them apart." His sudden change in demeanor is so intense, it makes his opponent flinch in terror. He lunges at Jun Lee, tackling him to the ground and choking him with brutal force. This isn't a fight anymore. It's a savage attack. He's trying to literally bite him. Pure animal instinct. The team watches in horror as Jun Lee is being choked out. He's struggling, gasping for air. But then, he remembers what the opponent is trying to do. Bite him off. So he fights fire with fire, jamming his own fingers into the guy's mouth. Crunch. The tables have turned. The Osaka boss reveals their twisted strategy. Take a few hits to make the opponent let their guard down, then permanently disable them. The orange-haired girl is screaming from the sidelines. "Red pepper paste. Do the same thing. Bottom back, poke his eyes out. Do something." It's absolute chaos. With a final burst of strength, Jun Lee slams his attacker to the ground. But the effort leaves him exhausted, panting on the floor. Incredibly, after all that, his opponent slowly begins to get back up. Jun Lee manages to get free, a bloody but triumphant smirk on his face. His opponent, wiping blood from his own mouth, is impressed. "You're quite something," he grins. "I really was going to tear your ear off." And with a battle cry, he leaps back into the fray. But this time, Jun Lee is moving differently, more carefully. His opponent realizes with dawning horror that Jun Lee isn't trying to hit him. He's trying to grab him. The hunter has become the hunted. Leaning against the fence, Jun Lee taunts him. "You scared?" Seizing the opportunity, Jun Lee lands a devastating blow from behind, slamming the guy's head straight into the chain-link fence. The impact is brutal. You can almost feel it through the screen. And he's not done. He follows up with a vicious knee kick right to the face. The orange-haired girl is going ballistic. Knee kick right to the face. He was just about to poke his eyes out, the sweet taste of revenge. But suddenly, a memory flashes through Jun Lee's mind, and his face contorts in terror. The psycho grabs his hand, a maniacal grin spreading across his face. It's happening again. Jun Lee covers his face in horror, bracing for the worst. We flash back to before the tournament. Redhead is assuring Gammon that they'll take care of everything. Don't worry about us. But just as he's about to leave, Gammon stops him. With a respectful bow, Redhead makes a request. Gammon, I want to learn one thing from you. He looks dead serious. I think I'll have to start using them properly. Using what properly? The suspense is killing me. And what did he want to learn? His fists. Specifically, the 1-inch punch, Jun Lee's version. He's about to unleash some serious power. Back in the present, Jun Lee unleashes the 1-inch punch. The sheer force sends his opponent flying through the air, completely knocking the wind out of him. An absolute powerhouse move. He remembers his father's words. My father might have been an idiot, but he never took shortcuts. Even in a dirty fight like this, Jun Lee sticks to his principles. With a final roar, he delivers the finishing blow. He's not afraid to lose an ear. Flashing back to a time when he had a gun to his head, he realizes he has nothing left to fear. He's been through worse. With that resolve, he ends the fight with one last, decisive kick. I've had bullets brush past my ear. I ain't scared of your teeth, he roars. The announcer makes it official. Unbreakable Jun Lee. Yu-sung wins this match. Meanwhile, the black-haired girl is already plotting their next move. 2 wins down in a best-of-5. This is Osaka's final chance, and they're sending in their strongest fighter. The bald powerhouse steps into the ring. His presence alone is intimidating. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That's the Osaka way. We get a gruesome flashback to a previous fight, screams echoing as someone's toe is ripped off. The sheer brutality is insane. The stories of their fights are legendary. One guy attacks with a shovel, so the other stabs him in the eyes. It's a cycle of pure, unadulterated violence. These guys are fighting with killing intent. In a close fight, the side that acts with cruelty has an overwhelming advantage. But even though Mugiyu looks ferocious, there's no falsehood in his eyes. He's not fighting out of malice. He's fighting with pure conviction. Silverhair watches from the sidelines, impressed. Nice, he says with a smirk. Those who learn and get better are the scariest. He recognizes the potential, and he's enjoying the show. With that, Team Yu-sung gets their second win, one step closer to the semifinals. The crowd is going wild, but the announcer is suddenly interrupted by the Osaka boss, who snatches the mic, his face a mask of pure rage. He screams at the crowd to shut their mouths, and watch as he shows them how it's really done. He's stepping in himself. Looking at his opponent, he scoffs, 2 down in the best-of-5. And you're out here trying to salvage a win. The confidence is off the charts. That means you're the best fighter on your team, he growls, cracking his knuckles. I'm going to finish you off properly, so don't you dare hold back. The intimidation is overwhelming. Meanwhile, in a much less intense setting, the blonde girl is still suffering from last night's dinner. Why do we have to get teppanyaki? She groans. She asked for a regular spicy, but her friend insisted on the super hot version. The regret is real. Back in the ring, Mugiyu is standing completely still. Why is he standing still? His teammates wonder. Redhead explains he's studying the enemy. He's more experienced than he looks. But just then he gets caught in a brutal chokehold, gasping for air. After all the posturing I did coming into the ring, he thinks. Just as he's berating himself, his opponent finds an opening and lands a devastating blow right to his face. Mugiyu is reeling from the punch, blood dripping from his mouth. But his opponent just smiles cruelly. Refreshing, isn't it? This guy is a straight-up sadist. But Mugiyu finds his footing and lands a solid punch to the gut. Good thing I've been keeping up with my Kegel exercises, he thinks, almost shit myself at a crucial moment. Even his opponent is impressed. Seems like you've got a better sense of your surroundings than you look. I don't pull any nefarious tricks, the boss declares, promising a fair fight of pure strength. He lands a heavy blow, but seems to forget that his own backstory involves ganging up on people. A bit hypocritical, don't you think? Suddenly, a foul smell fills the air. What the fuck is that smell? Everyone gags. Oh no, Mugiyu had an accident. The humiliation is real. His teammates are dying of laughter, but this bioweapon catches his opponent off guard, allowing Mugiyu to land a clean hit. The boss is enraged. Why are you standing still? He roars. Tell me you've already lost your Will fight. He lifts Mugiyu high into the air, preparing to slam him down for the final blow. But right at that critical moment, Mugiyu forfeits. He just gives up. Everyone is stunned. A sudden forfeit? His teammates scream. What the hell are you doing, you crazy Thunderman? The boss may have won, but he's shaken to his core. He recalls the look in Mugiyu's eyes. I've never seen terror like that in my life, he thinks. That asshole. He wasn't scared. I was completely at his mercy. When he picked him up, the boss heard a distinct sound coming from Mugiyu's body, a sound that shouldn't come from a human being. The onlookers are just as confused. Possessed by a demon or something, one mutters. The whole situation is surreal. I guess it's my turn then, a black-haired fighter says with a smile. Not to be outdone, Silver Hair steps up too. I wanted to find something out, anyway. The final bosses are entering the ring. The black-haired guy faces off against the young boss of White Lead, a confident smirk on his face. And then, a surprise. Huh? You can speak Japanese? Silverhair asks, caught off guard. This fight is about to be more than just an exchange of blows. Silverhair gets straight to the point. What are you guys doing here in Korea? I don't think you came just for this tournament. He suspects they're up to some business with White Lead. But the other guy plays it cool. I didn't know it was supposed to be a secret even from the young boss. The Osaka boss seems to be doubting his own man. You expect Run to lose, he says. And then we see him. Run, the youngest of the Fukugakuki rookies, stepping forward with an intense gaze. He's ready to prove his boss wrong. But this kid has some serious credentials. He's recognized by Mr. Kenichi, the ghost of the Osaka bloodbath. He then drops a little taunt, mentioning how certain manager Park, who used to spar with him, got his ass handed to him by his master in Japan. The trash talk is getting personal. Today, I will show you there's a bigger world out there. Rin declares, charging forward. Silverhair just smirks. So you're not going to tell me why you're in Korea? Huh? And just like that, Rin slams him into a concrete pillar with incredible force. He's trapped, taking a brutal hit to the head. But Silverhair is far from done. With a powerful counter, he grabs Rin and smashes his face into the ground again and again. The sound of the impact is sickening. The crowd watches in shocked silence. Silverhair grabs Rin, who's bleeding and battered, by the hair, lifting him up effortlessly. The power difference is just staggering. As the season continues, we dive into the backstory of Yanbei Pai, the leader of White Lead. Our silver-haired boy has been pondering a question for a long time. How did a simple gangster from Incheon become such a big shot, powerful enough to think about going into politics? Something doesn't add up. There's no way he gained so much power so quickly on his own. There has to be something more going on. And it's clear, anyone who knows this fact poses a major threat to him. It's like a vial of venom, ready to be unleashed. Yanbei Pai would never let anyone poke around his business, not even a frail female teacher. And right now, our boy's instincts are screaming that he needs to run. Trouble is coming. Back in the ring, Silverhair slams his opponent to the ground. Tell me, he demands, his voice cold as ice, you guys didn't have a good relationship with White Lead, right? He's not just fighting, he's interrogating. You even left a scar on the White Lead director's face. So why are you working with him now? The round has been going on for 20 minutes. The crowd realizes he's not even trying to end the fight. He's completely toying with the guy, beating him just to the point of passing out to get answers. The Osaka boss considers throwing in the towel, but his subordinate refuses. And for his pride, he takes another brutal punch, collapsing to the ground. As Silverhair slowly walks toward him, a hush falls over the arena. His teammate curses Silverhair, swearing Run will never forgive him. But Silverhair just sighs, grabs Ren's arm, and with a sickening snap, breaks it. How much more of your body do I have to break, he asks calmly. The sheer coldness in his voice makes everyone freeze. He warns the boss that if his fighter loses his left arm, he'll have a hard time even eating. The threat hangs heavy in the air, and even Redhead shivers in fear. The Osaka crew is getting desperate. They know their teammate will never forfeit. It's a matter of pride. They realize that unless they kill Silverhair, Rin will never give up. But incredibly, Rin gets back up again. He's laughing, a crazed look in his eyes. The guy's an absolute monster. Even Silverhair is impressed. Useless. You won't even get my birth date out of me this way, he mutters. The tenacity is insane. Just then, a familiar voice cuts through the tension. Hamel Pie. It's the orange-haired girl, gripping the fence, so tight her knuckles are white. Finish it, she screams, her eyes blazing with fury. The crowd is chanting for more violence, screaming fight. But Rin just stands there, battered and bruised, but unbroken. Redhead watches in disbelief. Why are they shouting at that battered kid? The cruelty of the crowd is sickening. With a final burst of adrenaline, Rin charges, screaming, "The fuck are you looking at?" But Silverhair doesn't even flinch. With a single, swift kick, he puts him down for good. Effortless. Overwhelming. And that's the match. The crowd erupts as the announcer declares Team Yusung the winner, advancing to the semifinals. And our boy, Hamel Pie, stand victorious, as cool and collected as ever. Up in the stands, the Chungma High crew isn't surprised. Damn, Yusung High is no joke, one says. Min Seong, the mastermind, just smirks. Such an overwhelming win. This is good for everyone subverting expectations. He's playing 4D chess, and Yusung just fell right into his trap. It was all a setup. The online reactions are fantastic, with betting exchanges reaching $2 million. Because the odds were so skewed, a small number of people who bet on Yusung just made a killing. This is exactly why Min Seong wanted them in the tournament. And now, Team Yusung is being led to their waiting room. The next matchup is about to be drawn. Meanwhile, the blonde girl finally emerges from the bathroom, still in pain. But when she gets back, her friends are nowhere to be found. Huh, where'd she go? The timing couldn't be worse. It turns out they've been taken to a VIP room. Mugiyu confronts his teammate, asking why he forfeited. That's when the orange-haired girl offers to tell them the story of a desperate man. Whatever she says, it hits Redhead so hard he starts crying. From a VIP room, they can watch the other matches on a monitor, a clear advantage. The girl is watching intently, her expression a mask of pure anxiety. She realizes this is their chance to scout the competition. Then, as if an idea strikes her, she heads to the bathroom. And who does she run into at the sinks? None other than Silverhair. They wash their hands in silence, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. Something is about to go down. It's revealed her name is Minwon Ma. Silverhair looks at her with a knowing smirk, and she returns it with one of her own. A silent challenge passes between them. The game is on. Meanwhile, in the men's room, another showdown is brewing. Silverhair confronts our new blue-haired character, asking why he's buddy-buddy with the Chungma High crew. But look at Blue-Hair's smirk. He's not intimidated, just asks if Silverhair is jealous. Oh, the shade is real. Blue-Hair isn't playing around. He gets in close, hand on the shoulder, full intimidation mode. But Silverhair is unfazed. He starts breaking down Blue-Hair's situation like a detective, deducing it must be his powerful father pulling the strings. Blue-Hair seems almost impressed by the deduction. As they walk down this creepy hallway, the mind games continue. Silverhair is wondering what dark secrets Blue-Hair is trying to cover up with those already stained hands. Oof, that's a heavy accusation. And Blue-Hair just throws it right back at him. The hostility is palpable. Blue-Hair plays it cool, say it's a little awkward to say, and then hints that he might just refuse to answer. But look at his hand, cracking his knuckles. That's pure tension. He's hiding something big, and the pressure is getting to him. And then we get a flashback to what he's talking about. Silverhair, cornered by a bunch of goons in suits with knives drawn. And who's just standing there, watching it all go down? Blue-Hair, cool as a cucumber. But Silverhair isn't helpless. The boy's got moves. And then the big reveal. Blue-Hair isn't just a bystander. He's the boss. He walks out with his whole crew, all armed and ready. He warns Hanwol. Yep, that's Silverhair's name. Not to dig too deep into it. This guy's got some serious power, and he's making sure everyone knows it. Back in the present, Hanwol is left completely bewildered. He can't figure out what Minwon Ma is planning. Is she an ally? An enemy? But there's no time to think, because the announcer's voice booms through the arena. The third matchup is about to begin, and the fight is absolutely brutal. This green-haired dude gets completely wrecked. But look at the winner, our boy with the glasses. He doesn't look happy about it. The victory is a clean 3-0 sweep, but it feels heavy, not triumphant. Meanwhile, Team Chungma, the tournament hosts, are going wild celebrating their win. They're about to cash in big. As a losing team limps away, they can't help but comment on how insane that Four Eyes was. Yeah, he might look like a nerd, but he fights like a demon. The crowd is buzzing, but not just with excitement. They're talking about how straight-up cruel these fighters are. They think one guy is bad, but then they mention this other kid, Chang Seong-woo, who's on another level of vicious. And then someone points out something strange. Team Chungma only has 4 members. Where's the 5th? No time to dwell on mysteries, though, because the announcer is back, hyping up the final quarterfinal match. It's Gwangmyeong Union versus Bucheon Alliance. One of the fighters immediately goes on a rampage, charging in like a bull. And look at our boy's face. He is absolutely stunned. He recognizes someone. Flashback time. We're at an airport. It's the same guy from the fight, but he's all smiles, greeting our boy Gammon like an old friend. The vibe is so different, so warm. He's asking Gammon about America. They're clearly close. Still in the past, the two of them look out over the city at night. The older guy is talking about leaving Korea, asking if Gammon would be sad. It's a really tender moment. And then BAM, we're snapped back to the present, to the brutal reality of the fight. That shining jewel of a country has some deep-rooted issues. and his voice from the past echoes over the violence. He's talking about how in this world, people will claw and fight and do whatever it takes to get money, power, or fame. They chase their goals with fire in their eyes, and nothing will stand in their way. He was basically predicting this entire tournament. His lesson continues. People will praise the virtues in books, but then turn around and call you a fool for actually believing in them. He calls it a tough place to survive, and you can see it on Gammon's face. He's taking every word to heart. This is the lesson that shaped him. The memory ends with a chilling prediction. One day, you'll realize that giving up was the right choice. And as we cut back to the present, we see the fight has ended in a total bloodbath. The Buchan Alliance wins, and the semifinals are set. It's a dark victory. The adrenaline doesn't stop. The announcer says the semifinals will begin in just 10 minutes. We cut to another group of students huddled around a phone, watching the carnage. And look at their faces: shock, anger, humiliation. These are guys from schools that used to be under Hyuk Shanghai. They've got a score to settle. And there's a huge upset. Everyone expected Gammon to represent Yusung, but it's Hamilpai stepping up to the plate. This is a major twist. And his opponent is no joke. It's Jaerang Hai's number 1, Sun Ho Huang. The first semifinal is about to be a banger. And who's the other team in the semis? This crew right here. They look absolutely terrifying. Not only did they sweep their last opponents, but they literally made the Free Reckless clan sign a contract promising to stop being reckless. They beat the recklessness out of them. The sheer audacity. Our boys in the rehabilitated shirts are shook. Speaking of the rehabilitated crew, here they are. But things are already going south. Their own teammate is screaming at them from outside the fence. What the hell are you guys doing? Something is seriously wrong here. Looks like there's trouble in paradise. The team is talking amongst themselves, mentioning someone named Jun Lee. They seem to have high hopes for him. And wait a minute. Look who's wearing the rehabilitated shirt. It's our boy Gammon. He's part of this crew. Just as we're processing that, we cut to outside the school, and someone is yelling for their big brother. The plot thickens. Turns out this was the thing he had to do. The red-haired guy had asked for his help on that exact day, and Gammon just blew him off, saying he was busy. Busy getting into a death tournament. Some friend you are, Gammon. Back at the arena, the announcer is explaining the new rules for the semifinals. Oh, it's about to get chaotic. It's a team battle. Maximum of 3 fighters in the ring at once. You get points for every opponent you take down. First to 3 points wins. This isn't just about strength anymore. It's about strategy. Red Hair gets it instantly. The rules favor the team with more fighters. He was banking on the other guys forfeiting and then helping them out, but they shot that idea down fast. Why will we forfeit, they ask. Well, this is awkward. Little do they know, a much darker game is afoot. Silver hair and glasses guy have been plotting this whole time. Their plan? Frame the orange-haired kid for murder. These guys are playing dirty, setting up a fall guy from the start. Meanwhile, over in Chinatown, a fire breaks out. Smoke is billowing everywhere. But look at this crew. They're completely unfazed, almost like they were expecting it. And whose name gets dropped again? Hamilpai. Something big is going down. The rehabilitation guys are starting trouble, cornering this poor kid against the fence. But just as they're about to lay into him, Silver Hair makes his entrance. Look at that cold, confident stare as he says, "Get up here, motherfucker." The absolute boss energy. Back at Yusung High, a chase is on. A group of angry students are sprinting down the hall, screaming threats. They're clearly looking for someone to beat down. And before we can even process what's happening, they've already tackled their target to the ground. Turns out, they were looking for Hamilpai. Red Hair slams his fist against the wall, screaming his name. But he's too late. The other guy calmly pushes a chair aside and says, "He just left." Looking at the wrecked classroom, you can tell things got heated. The backstory comes out. Hamilpai was roped into the Chungma fighting tournament by Sahai and Kim under some kind of deal. The second Gammon hears this, his face darkens, and he grits his teeth. His friend sees this look and starts sweating bullets, practically begging him, "Don't tell me you're going to do something stupid." And he is absolutely going to do something stupid. Gammon and the rehab men decide to enter the tournament themselves. They're going to fight through the qualifiers just so they can get in the ring and teach Hamilpai a lesson. The revenge tour is officially on. The semifinal rules are repeated. 3-on-3 team battle. First to 3 points wins. It's a huge disadvantage for any team with fewer fighters. Hamill studies the rules, his expression cold and calculating. He's already working out a strategy. The match begins, and everyone's jaw drops. Team Yusung sends in only 1 fighter. It's Hanwol, all by himself. A 1-on-3 fight? The arrogance is off the charts. The crowd goes insane. They can't believe what they're seeing. His teammates are freaking out. This strategy is basically suicide. But their hands are tied. They can't fight alongside Hanwol against their own schoolmates. Meanwhile, Red Hair is fuming. He knows Hyunwoo only entered this tournament for one reason, to fight Hanwol. It all becomes clear. The rehab men are here on a revenge mission. They're representing all the guys who still hold a grudge against Hanwol Pai. Gammon gets it, but he draws a line. He can't fight his own schoolmates, not even for Hanwol. It's a matter of principle. His team knows they have people they need to save, so they can't get involved. All Gammon can do is stand back and watch. But Hanwol, with a confident smirk, looks at his captain and says, "Leave this one to me." The absolute swagger on this guy. The crowd is jeering, telling him he's going to lose for being so cocky. Hanwol is getting annoyed by the noise. With a flash in his eyes, he unleashes his aura and glares at his three opponents. "Come at me," he says. This is a stage now, and the fight is on. The three rehab men charge forward with everything they've got. Meanwhile, Silver Hair just smiles condescendingly. "It's okay. Your life was fucked anyway." That is a cold-blooded line. Orange Hair comes in hot, unleashing a flurry of attacks, but Hanwol is just too fast, dodging and weaving effortlessly. They trade blows in a dizzying display of speed and skill. You can barely keep up with the action. Hanwol is practically toying with him, smirking as he says, "You'll need more time before you can land a punch on me." But just then, the blonde powerhouse attacks from behind, unleashing a move called Fierce Tiger. It's a pincer attack. Hanwol is trapped. Blondie's attack is relentless, a move called Pushes the Mountain. He's screaming that the only reason he lost last time was because he was already exhausted from another fight. He's here to prove a point and get his revenge. Sunchul Kim's relentless assault pushes Hanwol's back against the wall. He's just pummeling him over and over, screaming "son of a bitch." The grudge he holds against Hanwol is real, and it is deep. But here's the thing about Hanwol. When he gets focused, it's like he enters the zone. He sees everything and blocks it all. Orange Hair grabs him by the hair, trying to smash his face into the fence, but Hanwol turns it around in an instant and lays him out with one clean hit. What a counter. The third member, Purple Hair, dives in from above for a surprise attack. Even the commentators are stunned, shouting about Hanwol's excellent peripheral vision. Instead of dodging, Hanwol meets the attack head-on with a move called Killer Wave, sending the guy flying. But the assault doesn't stop. The black-haired member is next, charging forward with explosive power, determined to take Hanwol down. There's no rest for the wicked. This fight is getting more intense by the second. This guy with the red ponytail, Jihan Chun, is an absolute monster. He drives Hanwol back with overwhelming momentum. Every single blow is filled with pure power, and Hanwol is struggling to even stay on his feet. Even Hanwol admits it to himself. This guy might be the hardest opponent he's ever faced. He knows that if he'd lost focus for even a second, that last kick would have knocked him out cold. This fight is far from over. Suddenly, the scene shifts completely. We're in another confrontation, and Silver Hair is calmly telling a guy named Sivan to withdraw his consent for the student council meeting. He says if he does, then they can finally sit down and talk about Minwon. So, Minwon is the key to all of this. And we're back to a chase scene. White Hair is running, and Black Hair is in hot pursuit. Black Hair suddenly screeches to a halt, asking someone off-screen, "Why are you asking me when he's right there?" Looks like there's a third party involved. Our boy in the rehabilitated hoodie looks laser-focused. It turns out, the one being tailed is the orange-haired girl. She gets jumped from behind and immediately assumes it's a cop. When the guy denies it, she flips the script on him, screaming, "Then why do you keep tailing me, bitch?" This girl is a certified badass. The attacker demands to know if she knows Ms. Hankyong Lee, but before he can finish, a figure descends from above like a bolt of lightning. A massive slam echoes through the hall, and just like that, the blonde girl has the guy pinned to the floor. Now, that's how you make an entrance. The black-haired girl is terrified, screaming for her friend. But after subduing the attacker, the blonde girl looks down and her face fills with absolute confusion and shock. What did she see? Or more importantly, who did she see? We flash back to the chase. Black Hair is relentlessly pursuing his target. He slams on the brakes, turning to someone off-panel and demanding, "Why are you asking me when he's right there?" The focus is on his determined face, with the white-haired target already down in the background. Turns out, they weren't alone. Minwon Ma's sudden appearance completely throws Blue Hair for a loop. The situation instantly devolves into chaos as Minwon Ma and Orange Hair launch themselves at each other, clashing in mid-air. White Hair brutally slams the blonde guy's head into the ground. Through the pain, Blondie manages to warn his teammate, "Don't fall for his tricks." This isn't just a brawl, it's a battle of wits too. Silver Hair calmly observes the unfolding chaos. Orange Hair struggles to his feet, roaring with frustration and defiance. Meanwhile, the orange-haired girl watches with a look of pure disdain. She is not impressed. Blondie is completely lost, muttering, "I don't get it." Just then, two men in black leap out of nowhere, pouncing on the gray-haired guy. The fight escalates again. But look at gray hair, he's totally calm, ready for the attack, as if this is just another Tuesday. Blondie goes on an absolute rampage, taking on multiple opponents with fluid, powerful movements. He's yelling, "You guys don't have to deal with me anymore." It sounds like he's either saying goodbye or declaring his independence. Blondie throws a punch right at silver hair, demanding to know why. From a distance, red hair and brown hair watch the scene unfold, their faces a mask of pure shock. They clearly never expected things to go this far. Silver hair dodges effortlessly and counters with a swift kick. Orange hair's inner monologue reveals the truth. This guy's field of vision is insanely wide, almost like a superpower. He realizes he'll have to do something completely unpredictable to land a hit. Speaking of unpredictable, Blondie launches himself into the air and unleashes his ultimate move, Tiger Fist Bomb. He comes down on white hair like a meteor. This move is absolutely insane. White hair capitalizes on a momentary lapse in judgment to strike back. It was a great move, but not enough to end the fight. Gammon takes the hit, but his eyes are still full of fire. This is far from over. The fight reaches its boiling point. The guy with the black ponytail comes in like a cannonball, sending white hair flying with a devastating headbutt. The sheer impact is brutal. You can feel that one through the screen. Blondie knows that just beating the crap out of him won't solve anything. His face is a mask of pure rage and determination as he unleashes a vicious kick, fueled by past grievances. Silverhair's chain of attacks is like lightning, leaving his opponent no room to breathe. Even a top-tier fighter like Hamel Pie is struggling to keep up. Glasses Guy is watching from the sidelines, completely stunned by the sheer ferocity of the assault. Black hair dives from above, sending white hair flying with a powerful kick. Immediately after, Blondie follows up with a heavy punch, slamming another opponent into the ground. It's absolute chaos, and white hair can only watch in shock as his allies fall. Blondie's fighting style is wild and powerful. He unleashes the Tiger Claw, aiming straight for white hair's throat. The look in his eyes is pure killer instinct. He's not holding back. This move is meant to end it. And just like that, the round is over. White hair stands alone in the center of the ring, surrounded by his fallen opponents. The crowd is silent, in absolute awe. He took on multiple fighters by himself and won. The plot armor is real. With that victory, Team Yusung advances to the finals. His teammates are on the sidelines, half complaining that he hogs all the cool moments for himself. But our boy just looks down at his defeated opponents and asks, "I was wondering why you guys were fighting so hard." And the truth comes out. The rehab men weren't fighting for revenge. They were fighting to repay the kindness of Ms. Lee. This revelation shocks everyone. It seems Ms. Lee is the key to this whole mess. Meanwhile, Orange Hair is back at his desk, trying to catch up on the studying he missed. His sister asks where he's been, and he just brushes it off, saying he was working out. But as she sees the textbooks on his desk, her expression changes. She's starting to suspect something. So, the rehab men were fighting to repay their debt to Ms. Hankyong Lee. They believed that Hamill had the best chance of finding her. This new piece of information makes Silverhair's expression turn serious. The plot thickens. After hearing their reason, Whitehair responds with chilling coldness. He says he killed off that part of himself a long time ago. If finding Ms. Lee means misfortune for his father, he'd rather let it be. His words send a shiver down everyone's spine. The word rehabilitated suddenly feels heavy with meaning. Whitehair is clearly shaken. Meanwhile, the brown-haired girl looks on with an air of superiority. She seems to think these two-bit thugs are beneath her notice. The matchup of the century is about to begin. The rehabilitated trio stands ready, their presence commanding. The masked leader looks at Blackhair and says, "You tried your best." But Blackhair remains calm, his expression unreadable, as if victory or defeat no longer matters. Night falls, and a lone figure stands at the railing of a rooftop, looking down on the world below. Is he contemplating the upcoming battle, or is he lost in thought about the choices he's made? This silhouette is filled with unspoken stories. The blonde girl suddenly appears, demanding to know what the black-haired girl is doing here. But Blackhair is too shocked to answer, thinking to herself, she knows who he is? It seems they share a secret, and it's about to come out. Oh snap, the pervert is their former teacher from Yusung High, the one who got fired for harassing students. And now he's here, involved in some shady gambling scheme with the kids. The blonde girl absolutely loses it and goes straight for his throat. The ex-teacher shows zero remorse, blaming the students for ruining his life. He claims the rumors about him got him fired and even caused his wife to leave him. This pathetic excuse just fuels the blonde girl's rage, and the two start brawling on the floor. He whines that his life is in pieces because of one little mistake and calls her a cruel bitch. Her response? A cold, tired, what an asshole. The absolute queen energy. Just as the blonde girl is about to go nuclear, her friend stops her. She calmly turns to the scumbag teacher and asks the million-dollar question. How'd you get your hands on Ms. Hankyong Lee's phone? The plot twist we've been waiting for revolves around that phone. Meanwhile, the staff at Chuma High are getting suspicious. They've noticed a girl named Minhui Jiang acting strangely. It seems there's a traitor in their midst. The girls find themselves surrounded by a gang of thugs. Their leader smugly tells them to back off if they don't want to get hurt, because the second match of the semifinals is about to start. They're clearly trying to intimidate them into silence. Under the night sky, Yusung High feels more tense than ever. A battle revolving around studying, friendship, and grudges is about to reach its explosive climax in this school for future criminals. But wait, the cavalry has arrived. Police Chief Kwangyan Park from the Jungbu police station is here, and he is furious, roaring about what kind of shady business is going down in a sacred place of learning. The authorities are finally getting involved. The chief sneaks into an empty arcade and discovers a hidden door. He can't help but marvel at the wild schemes people come up with. But now he's at a dead end, with no idea where to even begin his investigation. Just as he decides to head back to the station for now, an arcade machine suddenly flashes to life with a loud jingle, scaring the absolute daylights out of him. That sudden jump scare nearly gave the poor chief a heart attack. Right after that, the door slides open violently, and a body comes flying into the room, slamming hard onto the floor. This sudden burst of action cranks the tension up from creepy to downright dangerous. The chief spots an office he almost missed. A sly grin spreads across his face. He's found a new lead. He quietly steps inside, ready to uncover whatever secrets are hidden within. He ducks under a desk, knowing he'll be in deep trouble if he's found searching without a warrant. He thinks he's just hearing things, but then he looks up, and a huge bald guy is standing right over him with a death glare. Cutting back to the tournament, the moment everyone has been waiting for is here. The final match is about to begin. On one side, the fired-up challengers, and on the other, our heroes, Team Yusung. The final showdown is finally here. The other team taunts them for only having 4 members, but Red Hair isn't fazed, saying they can still win. Glasses Guy then lays down their terms. If they win, the other team has to promise to leave Jerang High and all the other schools alone. This fight is for more than just prize money. It turns out this group's goal is to free the students being used as slaves. Meanwhile, the black-haired girl gets back to business, demanding to know how the guy got his hands on Ms. Hankyong Lee's phone. She's clearly the one most invested in finding her. The crowd is buzzing, expecting Gammon to show up for the final match. But things get way more interesting when Hamill appears instead. It seems all the losers have already gone home, leaving only the true powerhouses to fight it out. Blue Hair taunts the guy in the suit, saying he's scared of a little kid. Gammon just smiles back, saying he wouldn't want to miss the chance to get revenge for his master. Just then, the suit gets a message in his earpiece, and the color drains from his face. They may have lost the match, but the rehab men are in high spirits. Walking home, they joke around and even invite their new friend to officially join their crew. They might have lost the fight, but they gained something more important: camaraderie. Gammon is completely frozen, terrified by Blue Hair's overwhelming presence. His classmates feel it too. The sheer pressure is making their hair stand on end. Who is this guy, and what kind of power does he have? So, it was the boss who got Minwan out. But why? No one knows. There's clearly a much larger conspiracy at play here. And the man in the cell looks on with determination, as if he's been preparing for this moment all along. The boss warns his subordinate that Minwan is a clever boy, but there's one thing he needs to watch out for. You better be prepared, he says. It's a chilling warning, foreshadowing a storm that's about to hit. A man in glasses lies dying in a pool of his own blood. With his final breath, he utters a promise: "My disciple will avenge me." And with those words, a new saga of revenge is set into motion. Silver Hair taunts Minwan, asking him what he's going to do now. Just then, Sivan Chun drops in from above, launching a surprise attack. His eyes are blazing with fury. The final battle is about to erupt. Hold up, what a twist. Turns out that entire epic fight was just a movie scene. The director yells, "Cut," and everyone freezes. They were filming the whole time. I did not see that coming. The set is buzzing with activity. A talent chief named Teddy has brought a trainee, Sivan Chun, to watch the pros at work. He tells him to soak it all in, especially when the top star Minjun Shur is doing his own stunts. Minjun Shur, the top star, has an incredible presence, making the script come alive. Teddy reminds Sivan how many strings he had to pull to get him this opportunity. Sivan is just in awe, completely blown away by the experience. But then, disaster strikes. A random kid wanders onto the set, and Minjun Shur points a prop gun right at him. The director screams, "Cut!" and Minjun furiously demands to know who brought a civilian onto his set. The tension is real. The kid who wandered onto the set was none other than Sivan Chun. Hiding behind a car, he's shaking, completely rattled by the incident. And then a horrifying realization dawns on him. The actor with the gun looks exactly like the man who killed his master. Back in the car, Teddy comforts a shaken Sivan. He apologizes for not considering what he's been through, realizing he brought him to a place that would trigger his trauma. It's clear Sivan is carrying a heavy past. Sivan blames himself, saying it's because he's weak. But deep down, it's fear and rage. He heard the son of a bitch who shot his master was released from prison. He's terrified of what he might do if he ever sees him again. Teddy looks Sivan in the eyes and tells him, "You're a diamond to us." His words are meant to build him up, to give him strength. Meanwhile, back at the tournament, the crowd is going absolutely wild. Teddy promises Sivan that the company, RSY, will risk everything to protect him. He tells him, "If you see an opportunity, don't miss it, and don't worry about the fallout." He's giving him permission to let loose. And with that, Sivan makes a decision. He's done with the forgive thine enemies nonsense. He's going to seize his own better tomorrow, his own way. The look in his eyes is one of pure, unshakable resolve. And what's the first step towards that better tomorrow? Charging headfirst into the fray. He leaps from the stands, diving right into the chaotic arena. His eyes are burning with the fire of vengeance. The announcer is losing his mind over this sudden, unexpected development. The entire crowd looks up, stunned, as Sivan descends from the sky like an avenging angel. Sivan Chun, a member of the rehab men who is already eliminated, is suddenly charging the ring from the stands. What is he doing? Everyone is completely losing it over this insane move. It turns out, the one he was after, the one responsible for eliminating another fighter, was Blue Hair. And as Sivan charges, Blue Hair just smirks. "Ah, he found me. He knew this was coming." The man in the suit faces the charging Sivan with a look of disdain. "All this fuss," he mutters, clearly underestimating the fury that's about to be unleashed upon him. This is about to get ugly. Sivan lands a devastating blow, his eyes filled with bloodlust. "Fuck off," he screams, sending his opponent flying with a single punch. He's a man possessed, consumed by his need for revenge. The organizers rush in to stop him, but they're met with a brutal palm heel uppercut that sends them reeling. Even Blondie tries to intervene, yelling at him to go home, but Sivan ignores him completely, his eyes locked on his true target. He moves like an animal, leaping and climbing the chain-link fence with incredible speed and agility. He disappears in the blink of an eye, scaling the structure to get to his one and only target. The suits are stunned, unable to believe how fast the kid disappeared. And despite the absolute chaos, the announcer declares that the tournament will go on. This whole event is spiraling out of control. Sivan's rampage was the spark that lit the powder keg. The whole arena erupts into a massive brawl between the spectators and the organizers. The angry crowd is even charging the commentator's booth. It's a full-blown riot. The online chat is exploding. All the people who bet on the matches are losing their minds, screaming about their lost money. This tournament has devolved into a complete and utter train wreck. And it's revealed this was all Hamel Pie's plan. He had the kid steal his clothes and cause chaos so that the white lead thugs would have no choice but to listen to him. This guy's playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. The final match is about to begin. Team Yusung versus Team Chungma. Our main crew against the powerful tournament hosts. This is it, the final showdown. Who will come out on top? Black hair grabs red hair by the collar, screaming, "What do you think, asshole?" At the same time, gray hair is yelling at Blondie. The tension between the two teams has finally snapped. The final battle is starting now. The crowd goes wild, everyone whipping out their phones to record this epic moment. In the ring, the orange-haired girl is already trading blows. The sheer force of the battle is sending people flying outside the ring. This final match is starting at 100. It seems Silverhair knew this was going to happen all along. The blonde girl mockingly asks if he's being used as a sacrificial pawn. He just gives her a cold stare, saying nothing. Nearby, a mysterious man in sunglasses watches, his eyes flashing with alarm. Up in the YB executive office, Blue Hair is watching the monitors with a smirk, curious to see the fight that Min Wan Ma recommended. Down below, Green hair and silver hair finally come face to face. A high-stakes game between the top dogs is about to begin.